Let's begin with a surprise for you, all of you. Let me tell you about a book that's being written right now, as I speak, as you listen. Now, this book has no fixed genre. It shifts between comedy, tragedy, romance, thriller, sometimes all in the same week. It has plot twists you never saw coming, characters who disappoint you, chapters you wish you could tear out, and moments so beautiful they deserve to be highlighted and reread forever. So, this book is actually your life. But here's the question that might keep you up tonight: who's holding the pen? Is it you? Or have you handed it over to your parents' expectations, your boss's demands, society's judgments, your ex's opinion, or your own fears, or that voice in your head that keeps saying, you can't? So, today we are going to talk about something radical, something liberating, becoming the author of your life story. And here's a truth that might sting a little: most people are not living their story, they're living someone else's rough draft. Think about it. How many of you chose engineering because your parents said, Beta, scope hai? And how many picked a safe job over a passion because society said that what's responsible people do? And how many are still trying to prove something to someone who stopped caring years ago? And you're not writing, you're transcribing someone else's expectations. And here's the beautiful, terrifying truth: if life is a book, don't hand the pen to fear, failure, or other people's opinions. So let me share what it means to truly be the author of your life. So you are basically three things: the writer, editor, and the narrator. So let's talk about the writer first. So this means you get to decide what happens next, not what should happen according to your family WhatsApp group, not what happens in your friend's Instagram story, or what you choose to write. Let me talk about Amit. He's a 19-year-old guy. His story was written for him. Coaching in Kota, IIT, placement, marriage at 27, done. Except Amit loved music, not as a hobby, as a calling. But everyone said, ये सब hobbies हैं, career नहीं. So he stopped writing his story and started copying someone else's template. And 3 years of engineering, depression, panic attacks, finally he picked up the pen, dropped out, took a gap year, learned music production, and today he scores for indie films, not rich, but alive, really alive. And that's what writing your story looks like. It's messy, it's scary. People will question your plot choices, but it's yours. Second, you are the editor. So here's something powerful: you can rewrite old chapters, not erase them, rewrite them. That chapter when you failed your exams, you can edit it from I'm a failure to that was the year I learned resilience. That chapter where your heart was broken, you can edit it from I'm unlovable to I learned what I'll never accept again. Or that chapter where your business failed, where you lost money, where you made that stupid mistake everyone remembers. You are the editor. You decide what it means. Let me talk about Priya. For years, her story was the girl whose wedding was called off. Every family function, that's all she was. She let that one chapter define her entire book until she realized, I am the editor. I can rewrite this new narrative. So the woman who dodged a bullet and found herself instead. She started a boutique design studio, travels solo, lives boldly. Same story, different editing, different life. So stop living by default. Design your life on purpose. And that's what editing means. And number three, you are the narrator. The narrator decides how the story is told. Is your life story a tragedy or a comeback? A tale of victimhood or victory? So, two people lose their jobs. Same event, different narrators. Person A, this always happens to me. I'm so unlucky. My life is ruined. The other one, oh, this is unexpected. And maybe this is the universe making space for something better. See, same chapter, two completely different narrations. One keeps you stuck, one keeps you moving. And here's the thing about being Indian. We are masters at victim narratives. मेरी किस्मत में ये नहीं था. What to do? This is my fate. God wants this. सब ऊपर वाले की मर्जी. No, stop it. You are the narrator. Choose empowering narratives over victim stories. You didn't get the job? You're not unlucky. You are being redirected. That's some relationship ended. You're not unwanted. You are being protected. You made a mistake. You're not stupid. You are learning. Same events, better narration, different life. So let me tell you what happens when you stop being a passive character and start being an active author. Remember, Amit? We talked about a little while ago. When he picked up the pen, his parents were devastated. Log kya kahenge? He said something brilliant. Their opinions are not canon in my story. They're just guest reviews. Powerful? Right. And Priya, she stopped letting her relatives write her story. At a wedding, an auntie said, still unmarried? Oh, old Priya would have cried in the bathroom. But the new one, she smiled and said, yes, auntie, plot twist karna hai thoda. Suspense बढ़ाना hai. The auntie had no response, and Priya had reclaimed her narrative. So, this is what authorship looks like. Not perfect, not always applauded, but authentic, intentional, yours. So, now it's your turn to pick up the pen, not metamorphically, literally. So, I want you to open your journal, your notes app, or any sh- piece of paper you have right now, whatever you want to use, and answer this. If my life were a book, what would I title the next chapter? Think about it. I repeat, if my life were a book, what would I title the next chapter? Of course, not your entire life story, just the next chapter, the one that starts tomorrow morning. Maybe it's the chapter where I finally set boundaries, or maybe the comeback arc, or maybe learning to say no without guilt, or maybe you can say the year I chose me. Write the title. And then, now this is crucial, write the first paragraph of the new chapter. Just a few lines. What happens? How do you show up? What changes? I'm giving you a minute to write this. For example, let's say the chapter title was The Unleashing. So, for a few lines, you can write, this is the chapter where I stop shrinking, where I speak up in meetings, where I book that trip I've been postponing. where I become inconvenient to people who preferred me small. So because it's your turn, write it now. Let's see what comes on paper as the first paragraph of your next chapter of life. Wonderful, Anandji. Just let me know when you are done. You can raise your virtual hand or post it in the chat that you are done. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So before we end today, I want to leave you with this thought. Every best selling book has something in common. They all have a protagonist who refuses to stay stuck, who makes hard choices, who faces conflict, who grows, who transforms. So, your life story can be that book, but only if you stop waiting for someone else to make you the hero. Only if you stop letting fear ghostwrite your future. Only if you grab that pen with both hands and say, "This is my story and I'm writing it my way." Some chapters will be beautiful, some will break you, some you'll want to skip. But all of them will be yours. So your call to action is stop being a side character in your own life. Stop letting other people write your ending. Stop narrating your story like a tragedy when it could be of a triumph, of a victory. So you need to pick up the pen, turn the page, and paragraph today. Because the most extraordinary stories, they're written by ordinary people who decided their life was too important to leave to chance or to anyone else. Your story isn't over. In fact, you've actually begun today. So, with that thought, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you.